Okay, let's have a look at SDG 2, Zero Hunger. The underlying principle for this SDG are to end hunger, achieve food security and improve nutrition, and promote sustainable agriculture. The COVID-19 pandemic, global conflicts, climate change, and of course growing inequalities are all converging to undermine food security globally. About 1 in 10 people worldwide are suffering from hunger, and nearly 1/3 of people lack regular access to adequate food. Soaring food prices have affected over 47% of countries in 2020. Just over 149 million children under the age of 5 suffer from stunting. And stunting is where a child is not the appropriate height for their age. In order to reduce this in children by 50% by 2030, the annual rate of decline must double. So we need to increase this from 2.1 to 3.9% a year. I think everyone is familiar with the issues that the Ukrainian crisis has triggered, in particular food shortages, and of course these affect the world's poorest people. Ukraine and the Russian Federation supply approximately 30% of the wheat, 20% of maize, and 80% of sunflower seed products. These are very significant quantities of very important natural resources. SDG 2 Zero Hunger has 8 targets. Target 2.1. By 2030, end hunger and ensure access by all people, in particular the poor and people in vulnerable situations, including infants, to safe, nutritious, and sufficient food all year round. 663 million people globally are undernourished. 9% of the world population, meaning around 697 million people, are severely food insecure. Target 2.2. By 2030, end all forms of malnutrition, including achieving, by 2025, the internationally agreed targets on stunting and wasting in children under 5 years of age and address the nutritional needs of adolescent girls, pregnant and lactating women, and older persons. According to the WHO, in 2020, 149.2 million children under 5 years of age were too short. 45.4 million were too thin for their height. These are very stark and depressing statistics. Target 2.3. By 2030, double the agricultural productivity and incomes of small-scale food producers, in particular women, indigenous peoples, family farmers, pastoralists and fishers, including through secure and equal access to land, other productive resources and inputs, knowledge, financial services, markets and opportunities for value addition and non-farm employment. Quite a long SDG, that one. So we'll just have a look at what that means. Double the agricultural productivity of small producers. I think if you leave the word including out, it makes it easier to understand. Through secure and equal access to land and other productive resources and inputs, knowledge, financial markets, etc. So that's the way to double agricultural productivity. Small-scale food producers are defined as farmers with limited opportunities, limited resources, limited technologies, and limited markets. These are often dependent on household members for most of the labor. So what happens when someone in the household becomes ill? Very precarious situation, high risk of poverty. By 2030, ensure sustainable food production systems and implement resilient agricultural practices that increase productivity and production, that help maintain ecosystems, that strengthen capacity for adaptation to climate change, extreme weather, drought, flooding, and other disasters, and that progressively improve land and soil quality. Developed countries can overcome some aspects of climate change, but small-scale producers like the ones we mentioned previously cannot. They do not have the resources. Overall, we need to find ways to maintain ecosystems and agricultural productivity, particularly supporting those who are less able to fend for themselves. Target 2.5. By 2020, maintain the genetic diversity of seeds, cultivated plants, and farmed and domesticated animals and their related wild species. including through soundly managed and diversified seed and plant banks at national, regional, and international levels, and promote access to fair and equitable sharing of benefits arising from the utilisation of genetic resources and associated traditional knowledge as internationally agreed. Again, a bit of a mouthful, but if you leave out the word including, it's actually pretty straightforward. Maintain genetic diversity of seeds, cultivated plant and animals through the inclusion of soundly managed and diversified seed and plant banks at national and international levels. Conserving and using our crop diversity is the foundation for developing crops and diversifying farm systems that are resilient to the devastating effects of a rapidly changing climate. This helps to ensure food security and nutrition for all in a sustainable way. Target 2A. Increase investment through enhanced international cooperation in rural infrastructure, agricultural research and extension services, technology development, and plant and livestock gene banks to enhance agricultural productive capacity in developing countries, in particular the least developed countries. To meet the needs of the goals that we've discussed, there needs to be investment. That's something that we're going to look at as part of the programme. Target 2B. Correct and prevent trade restrictions and distortions in world agricultural markets through the parallel elimination of all forms of agricultural export subsidies and all export measures with equivalent effect, in accordance with the mandate of the Doha Development Round. Now, the Doha Development Round is the latest round of trade negotiations among the World Trade Organization membership. Its aim is to achieve major reform of the international trading system through the introduction of lower trade barriers and revised trade rules. Target 2C. Adopt measures to ensure the proper functioning of food commodity markets and their derivatives and facilitate timely access to market information, including on food reserves, to help limit extreme food price volatility. Clearly, food price volatility is a significant issue because in order, particularly for people who are on limited resources, food pricing needs to be stable. Higher food prices have the greatest impact, of course, in developing countries. For the planet's poorest 2 billion people who spend between 50 and 70% of their income on food, these soaring prices may mean going from 2 meals a day to 1 meal a day. So there you have the 8 targets and lots of disturbing statistics, but hopefully as we go forward, the great progress that has been made over the years will continue, and we will hopefully be able to see a way that we can help continue doing that from the west coast of Ireland.